Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where last episode we joined the British market and it had an immediate impact on our GDP. That is a really good thing, and we're gearing up at this point to fight Brazil. They're at 25 plus 70, we're at 90 plus 12. Oh wow. Okay, so that went up a lot more than I thought it was going to. A lot more. Now, we knew that we had a number of barracks that were not fully filled out, right? I restarted the game. That might have had something to do with it, but that's a lot of battalions. So at this point, we should have enough battalions to overwhelm Brazil. They have 95. We have 102. And our battalions may end up being better than theirs. Now, right now, we're paying down this credit. And we're also working on these oil rigs. We're not going to attack just yet. What is going on here? Ah, okay. Great Britain is attacking Senegal. Or specifically, Revolutionary Sierra Leone. We're not going to get involved in this. Great Britain only has 47 battalions? They have a lot of conscript battalions available, but only 47 regulars. Germany and Brazil are fighting. Hang on, what is this? Belgium is attacking, I think. Okay, Belgium wants to annex fascist Belgium. Okay, Brazil is just involved in that. I don't care. They can do that. There's a defamatory article here. We'll suppress it. Now, our authority is actually okay. It wasn't for a moment there, but now it is. Good. Rubber and oil are expensive on the British market. We are working on dealing with the oil issue. We will be exporting a lot of oil soon enough. We have all of our oil rigs that we can queued up here, right? Yes. Beautiful. What else is expensive? Opium. We can't do anything about that. And we can't do anything about rubber either. Indeed. That's sad that we can't supply that. But we can expand our supply of oil, and that is definitely something that we want to do. So we're going to work on these furniture manufactories, steel mills, sulfur mines. All of that will be good. And eventually, I do want to still increase our number of barracks up by an additional 10. So where do we actually want to put those? And actually, I want to do a little math here. So we've got 30 plus 30. That's, of course, 60. 70, 80, 90. That makes sense. Okay, our peasants in Santiago actually started to work in it. That's what happened. Got it. Now, we don't get throughput for barracks in Santiago, right? I didn't mean to queue that. Get rid of that. Okay. We don't get a throughput increase for economy of scale with barracks, right? That would be insane. Correct. So we can build our barracks pretty much anywhere we want. For the time being, I'm going to build 5 more in Santiago and 5 more in Buenos Aires. That was 1. And I think I queued them up at the beginning of the list. I did. I did not actually mean to do that. So let's move that down to the bottom. There we go. And we'll let that go for the time being. We'll need to rely on population growth to be able to get that all populated, right? That's fine. That's fine. We're not being involved in this war. I don't think. No, we should not be involved in this war. We're just going to ignore it. We're not even going to declare neutrality. We're just ignoring it. Our radicalism is dropping. What is our legitimacy? Contested government. Noted. So we're paying down our credit here. And constructing at the same time, which is always a good situation to be in. We like that. Our military wages would be 17.6k. Noted. Absolutely noted. How's our GDP looking? Number 15 worldwide, with the per capita being 5 worldwide. That's great. We're really happy about that. And once these oil rigs all finish up, that's going to be a big, big boon for us. So furniture manufactories are 5 weeks out, and then we're going to be working just on oil rigs and barracks for a little while, but it's not going to be too long. But I definitely want to start thinking about attacking Brazil. Let's work on damaging relations with them. Or wait. We said that we couldn't do that because they were allied with... Oh, they're allied with France at this point. And France is a little scary. We're not going to harm relations with Brazil then. Peru, Bolivia. What did they have again? Allied with New Granada. Which themselves are not particularly scary. Okay. So Peru, Bolivia was going to be the play then. That's right. We're strong enough to take on Peru, Bolivia. In theory. We are running low on bureaucracy. We should think about a government administration somewhere. Do these get economy of scale? That is something I should be aware of. Government administration. Yes, they do get economy of scale. So we want to build that government administration where we have the most number of government administrations existing, which would be in Santiago. Okay, we're going to put that at the bottom of the queue for the moment. That'll do for now. Paper is currently expensive. I'm not too concerned about that. We do have some market access issues. So we should build... Did they just go away? No, they're just not showing up. Okay. There's one in Buenos Aires and one in Arcania. So over here. There we go. Cool. So we'll go ahead and do that. That'll be fine. And we've got quite a bit of a construction queue to work through because of that, but that's completely okay. As the oil rigs finish up, that will improve our economy pretty dramatically. Increase in taxation capacity and telephone switchboards have been unlocked. We don't have access to telephones. However, that would potentially mean that we don't have to build that government administration. Potentially. Indeed. So we can do that, and then now we're going to have either an expensive government good of telephones or an input goods shortage. Both. Okay. For the time being, we can hop over here, and we can now build ourselves... Can we build an electrics plant? Apparently we can't. Interesting. We need the telephone for that. Got it. The steam turbine is going to be done in 10 weeks. So that, of course, means that we can't really afford to run telephone switchboards. That does put us negative in our bureaucracy. So we're going to need to move our government administration up. I don't think it's actually going to be negative in bureaucracy. I think this is going to recover, but we do need to move that up. And of course, we're not fully pulling from our investment pool now because we're building that government administration, but that's okay. So this oil rig will finish up soon enough. Is oil still expensive? Actually, it's not. We're kind of flooding the market, I feel like. But it's okay. It should be fine. Our turmoil is much, much better now. That's great to see. And these railways will eventually get finished up as well. Cool. So a limited amount of time before that becomes any sort of a problem. I do want to attack Peru, Bolivia. Brazil would be better. But with them being allied with France and having defensive pacts with New Granada and Venezuela, that makes things tough. Very tough. Okay. So how are things going in the British market? Glass was expensive, but that's now gone away. Rubber and opium, that's reasonably expected. We can't produce any of that. Not at this moment, anyway. So oil rigs are going to finish up. And of course, we've got a lot more oil rigs being worked on. There's our steam turbine. Now we're going to grab telephones. And from there, I would like to check to see, can we put in steam turbines anywhere? Elastics would be potentially useful here. Cool. Arms industries can go down to breech loaders. Do it. Urban center could go to covered markets. Let's do that as well. That's going to drive the... Actually, let's wait on that. That's going to drive the price of glass way, way up. And I want this construction queue relatively empty by the time we do that. Okay. So power plants can go to a coal-fired plant now. That's definitely something that we want. And how are things going in here? Anything of note? Rubber plantations down to automatic irrigation. That'll help. Oil rigs down to tanker cars. I like it. Cool. So that all looks good. We can now run bicycle messengers, in theory. We're not going to do that up here. Cool. Okay, things are looking good for the time being. Our standard of living, on average, is almost up to 20. Number 7 worldwide. That's really good. I like it. In terms of literacy, we're number 85 worldwide, but we're working on it. We had a slow start there. Wow, look at that GDP spike. I like it. That's really good. Our radicalism is creeping upward, which is awkward. But with our last election being as split as it was, that isn't hugely shocking. We're running an input goods shortage of rubber. Not a lot we can do there, to be honest. We're producing all of the rubber that we can. So that's fine. We're expanding our railways. Those will be done in 2 weeks. And we're back to positive on our bureaucracy. Ammunition is currently expensive on the British market. That's fascinating. For the moment, we're prioritizing our oil rigs and our additional barracks. In fact, we should maybe, as soon as we're done with these railways, which will be right now, let's go ahead and finish up these barracks. At this point. We'll tear through those really fast, but it'll take time for those to get populated. So I would like to get those built and start getting jobs allocated towards them. That'll be good. And it won't take long to build them at all. Only like 2 months in total. So that's not bad. Plus 2% birth rate from the Catholic Church. We like it. So we're up to a 2% annual growth. That's huge. Absolutely huge. Our barracks will all be done within the next 2 weeks at this point. Then we'll be back to those oil rigs, and then we're going to be back to our automatic expansion from there. So that'll be fine. We're definitely creeping upward in our taxes, which is good to see. We're very, very happy about that one. And the oil rigs will be done in 32 weeks. That feels like a long time. But regardless, look at those finances. We're going to be paying down our credit very quickly. I like it. We're making a lot of money off of oil right now. Oil is still considered expensive in the British market. So we're just pumping out the oil right now. Literally. We are literally pumping out the oil. Netherlands wants to join our customs union. But this is grayed out. We don't have a customs union. We're in Britain's customs union. I don't know what you're up to, Netherlands, but we can't press either of those buttons, so I had to right-click it up here to make it go away. That was weird. I would have accepted if we could. It would have been awkward, but I would have accepted. Okay, our radicalism is starting to drop again. That's good. And our loyalists have been steadily increasing. 20 is our average standard of living now. Magnificent. We are almost double the minimum expected standard of living. That's really good. We're also almost out of debt. we'll cut our taxes once we are out of debt. And we're building up quite a lot in our investment pool. That's fascinating. Right. Oil rigs do not pull out of our investment pool. Or only partially out of our investment pool. That's kind of huge, actually. Let's move this steel mill up to the top and see what happens with our investment pool here. Or is it just that our investment pool is growing faster than we can possibly spend it on construction? In which case, we should expand our construction sector. By how much? At least 2 to 3. Okay, now it's more like 2. Okay, let's let this finish up here and get to the point where it's just working on auto expansion, and then we'll evaluate what our investment pool is looking like. But it sure is looking to me like we can afford to expand our investment pool. But let's let these oil rigs finish up first. Our radicalism is dropping dramatically, but look at that GDP skyrocket. Our per capita GDP is now number 2 worldwide, with our overall GDP being number 14 worldwide. We're positioned number 19 in the world right now. Oil has been discovered in Guyana. That doesn't help us. In fact, that kind of hurts us. I would really like to attack Peru, Bolivia at some point soon. So we've got 100 battalions and 13 conscript battalions. We should be capable of fighting Peru, Bolivia. I'm going to begin damaging relations with them. There we go. That's going to take some time. We've got an election coming up, and oil has been discovered in Sao Paulo. Hand-cranked machine gun has been unlocked. Okay. Looks good. So it definitely looks like we can afford to expand our construction sector somewhat. And because of economy of scale, we should build them all in the same place. Indeed. We'll build 1 for now, and we'll see how that goes. Okay. Central American migration. So Central American people are migrating to Uruguay. That's cool. We like that. How many? Actually, a lot. We'll see how many actually start coming in here. But this looks like a lot annually. 400,000? That's huge. With our standard of living being what it is, that isn't hugely surprising. Days of Darkness, huh? Krakatoa humanitarian help. Nature's a capricious creature. We can't afford that. Are you kidding? We actually can. But, they don't know that. Cool. Actually, I'm sure they do know that. Realistically. Yeah, our pop growth is definitely going up from that mass migration. I love it. That's huge. Okay, so we need to look at our investment pool. It's still positive. I want it to always be negative. So we're going to bump up in Santiago again here. It is slightly negative now. That's good. That's the way we want it. And we'll just continue constructing faster and faster. 5.74 million now. Ecuador wants a defensive pact with us. For now, that seems fine. Cool. So we're harming our relations with Peru, Bolivia. That's going to take a while before we're ready to actually do anything about that. We're now... We now have quite a lot of gold reserves built up. I want to cut our taxes down to... We actually can't afford it. Never mind. We'll not cut our taxes for the moment. And it looks like we don't want to increase our construction speed anymore for the moment either. Okay, looks good. But we're spending very, very little, actually. Oh, hello. I didn't even notice this election coming in. The National Civic Union won the election. Okay. So we'll need to reform it with the National Civic Union, and that seems fine. There we go. Path to Liberalism was successfully completed. Okay, that was entirely accidental. Sure. A liberal trailblazer. Sounds good. Okay. Burning ashes again, so... Araucania had some volcanic events happen. That's a lot. Okay, so this is a drop of temperature caused by Krakatoa. We will send them some food, but this is very expensive for quite a long time. For the moment, we can afford that, but our authority is low, as is our bureaucracy at this moment. So we should definitely think about building another government administration in Santiago. And as far as our authority goes, we're probably going to have to drop a greener grass campaign here. Yeah, I think that's definitely what we do. We drop our greener grass campaign in Mendoza. Speaking of greener grass campaigns, how's this railway doing over here? It's almost started. Cool. And we've got a lot of low market access at the moment. I'm wondering why that is. Oh, an engine's input goods shortage. That makes sense. So we can import some from the German market, and that will help somewhat. There's an automobiles input goods shortage, but for now that's fine. Okay, that engine's input goods shortage went away. I'm hoping that this market access starts to come back up. It's still going down. Okay, why is this happening? It's not to do with output. Okay. So we need to just look at this then. Using 90 of 106 in Buenos Aires. So it's not infrastructure related. Why is this dropping then? Because infrastructure usage is lower than or equal to infrastructure plus 16, base market access is 100%. Connected to the British market with market access reduced to 95% due to low shipping lane effectiveness. Okay. So this is probably due to Krakatoa. Our shipping lane effectiveness has dropped. Okay. So potentially we need to increase, like, our ports in, say, Uruguay. Let's see if that helps. Interesting. We can run a deficit here for a bit and continue to work on our constructions in the time being, or for the time being, rather. Our constructions aren't really harming us, right? Primarily, we've got that unrealized taxes, but it's the market access that's the primary issue. But it looks like we're going to chill at 95% and not go below that. I'm hoping that that ends up being the case. And of course, our additional expenses down here is really hurting us right now. But that'll last 5 years. It's painful. No doubt about it, it's very painful. A donation of knowledge. Sure, give us a university. But it's mostly this market access, I think, that's the primary issue right now with our finances. So this government administration... Oh, and also our tax waste. There's definitely some of that going on. This government administration will be done in 5 weeks. That will ease some of these symptoms. Cool. And this port will be done in 7. I'm hoping that that will help our connection a little bit to the British market. We'll see. Oil rush subsidies dropping off. Yes, that is to be expected. We're almost up to 6 million populace right now. Are people still coming in here? They are. Beautiful. So our port is expanding. That'll be done in 4 weeks, and our government administration next week. Now, the government administration is going to pay for itself. I have a feeling. Not in the short term, but in the medium term as our bureaucracy comes up. Each of these is generating how much bureaucracy? 65? Okay. Central Archives was just successfully completed. Cool. I love bureaucracy. So plus 5% bureaucracy for a few years. That will actually help us dramatically. We can see we're already back to being positive here. Our market access did improve, but it wasn't actually from building this port. It improved before we finished building the port. That's interesting to note. But we're now back to being positive in our finances. That's great. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to revel in the fact that our population is up over 6 million. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisoul, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.